Go.
What's going on, guys? This is episode 9 of the Thunderbird podcast. Me and Avery have been away for a while, but lots of stuff has happened in the NFL, and today me and Avery are going to break it down for you, bit by bit, contract by contract, signing bonus by signing bonus, and draft pick by draft pick. So,
And drafts in
Avery,
the future, but
exactly. Start us off.
yeah. Just to piggyback of what Adon said, yeah, it's been busy. I was moving into a new place. I started a new school term, so that's been busy. But as Don said, yeah, we're gonna cover what has been missed. A couple of things have happened recently in the NFL. It's all just free agency stuff, so we're gonna get right into it. There's a couple small signings we'll cover, a couple big ones, but let's start us off with a big one. Andy Dalton to the Bears. Don, I know this probably hurts a little bit for you, considering that the Bears are your NFC de facto team. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about Andy Dalton to the Bears.
Uh, I mean, at this point, I can't. Bears are my de facto team. I can honestly say I'm actually a fan of them now. I became a fan of them, and wow, what a disappointment that this was. I mean, I work at a deli, and a guy came in wearing a Chicago Bears hoodie, right? And
Okay.
so at this point, I saw him, and I was like, "Hey," I was serving him his fried chicken, his 8-piece fried chicken, as one does.
As one does,
And I was
yes.
like, "Hey, by the way, are you a Bears fan?" He's like, "Hey, yeah, man, I am." I was like, and then I told him, "Did you see that? Did you see that we signed Andy Dalton?" And he was like, "Dude, that is the worst signing ever." And then me and him just started talking about it. And then the guy next to him, he was also a Bears fan. So now I'm going crazy. And now we also
Nice.
started talking. But it just lets you know how terrible this signing is. It's like you can't tease us with Russell Wilson and give us Andy Dalton. And listen, I'm not even saying Andy Dalton is a trash quarterback, but by today's NFL standards, what a quarterback is in the NFL today, a Mahomes, a Rodgers, a Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, what a modern quarterback is today, Andy Dalton is like 10 years behind. He's a pocket passer guy. He doesn't really make plays happen. There's no excitement with Andy Dalton. He's at best a game manager. He's a game manager. He's not gonna throw a 40-yard bomb. What? Like this is a terrible signing. And the Bears have had a bad off. We've been signing a bunch of nobodies that I maybe if we get into them, we get into them, but there's really not much to get into. The Bears aren't signing anybody. We let go of Kyle Fuller, like our best cornerback, and so it's just a terrible offseason. And Matt Nagy, he's gonna get fired. I hope but I feel bad for Matt Nagy. He's a good coach, but look at the players that the GM Ryan Pace is getting for him. Andy Dalton releasing his best cornerback. We're done. He's getting this coach fired, and I really hope he gets himself fired because I can't stand this guy anymore. He's destroying a proud organization that I've become a part of over the past 3 months. But that's besides the fact. But the point is that the Bears are a storied franchise with a storyless present. They don't have any history over the past like 30 years. They're done. So there's the only silver lining I see for the Chicago Bears is that yeah, maybe Ryan Pace gets fired. Dalton only signed a 1-year deal. He's not like he's the future or anything like that. So hopefully we get a really good draft pick next year. Hopefully in the top 6, I'm hoping. So hopefully we get a good draft pick and we get a new coach, a new GM, someone who can just stop being so cheap and just terrible. This is a bad offseason for Bears fans, and next season's gonna be a great 2-14, 3-13 season.
Well, actually, I don't know. It could be 3-3 and
Oh yeah,
14 now.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
17
yeah,
games now.
or 2-15. Yeah,
Like
because
we
there's
get one more
17
game of
games.
misery.
Who are they're playing the Raiders, right? That's their actual
Bears
game.
and Raiders, and we're gonna lose that. The Raiders are a decent team. We're not even fucking decent anymore.
You never know. You could definitely catch
No,
the
no,
Raiders.
no,
Oh,
no.
come on, come
We
on.
have Allen Robinson, who's our only good receiver because we don't have another tight end or receiver, and our running backs are like it's like a revolving door of running backs. Because like one pops up every single year. Last year it was Tariq Cohen. This year was Montgomery. And I
You still
guess
have both those running backs though.
we
Just
still got him, but we got a quarterback who can't even like run 6 yards. Like he's just bad. Like this is a
yeah.
bad signing. We need a Marcus Mariota. We needed a Sam Darnold. Or we trade up in the draft and get Justin Fields. Justin Fields in the Bears offense, that's some speed right there. But no, we get Andy Dalton. And then the gall that they have, and I never use that word, the gall that they have to basically promote him and say, oh, I QB1, putting him on Twitter in like a photoshopped Bears uniform.
I mean,
Then
this
there's
is
just like and just rubbing it in of how like I feel bad for the Bears social media manager who has to basically parade this crap around by the Bears command, because I feel so bad for him because this sucks. Let's just be honest. This is trash. This is garbage. This is garbage. Okay, and I'm mad at it. I still got my Chargers, but once in a while I want both of my teams to be good. I'm sure any other fan who has two favorite teams feels this way. The Chargers are going to be good. The Bears are going to be just disgustingly. I don't even want to watch them because there's nothing to watch. I don't want to watch Andy Dalton. I wanted to watch Russell Wilson. I wanted to watch Mariota, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, the slowest quarterback ever, Mac Jones. I'd rather watch him than Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle. I don't care about the Red Rifle. I care about I care about
the
I
red
care
rifle.
about Dangerous. That's who I care about. But now we're not going to get him. So bad signing. Bad signing.
Wow. For a second there, you sounded like me whenever I rant about Howie Roseman.
Yeah. It's no
Wow.
Ryan Pace. I think honestly at this point, Ryan Pace, he's low key. I don't. It's him and Howie. Those are
Yeah.
the worst general managers.
I was just gonna say, I rant all day about Howie Roseman. I as an NFL GM, I hate the fucker
Yeah.
because he's messing up my Eagles team.
He's never gonna
And,
get
and
fired.
and yeah, he's typically messing it up more than he's fixing it. There's some good things every once in a blue moon, but usually it's bad signings or not really bad signings, but more so just mishandling of players. But
Bad
I
draft.
digress because I'm not going to get into a Howie Roseman tangent. I was just simply mentioning him just to say that Ryan Pace is also one of the other GMs in the league that's on Howie Roseman's tier of just shit. he's he's so
Yeah.
bad. But I will say this though, in all fairness, I I don't blame the Bears in failing to get Wilson. They actually offered quite a bit for Wilson. But just the Seahawks just didn't want to trade him. I think they offered like 2 first-round picks, Tariq Cohen, another player, and then a couple more picks on top of it too. Which honestly, I would say is fair. I would have maybe made the trade considering the disgruntlement that's going on between Russ and Pete Carroll, or more so just Russ in the front office of Seattle. I would have maybe made that trade with Chicago. I thought that Chicago offered the Seahawks an ample amount of replacement for us. But I mean, oh well, Seahawks didn't pull the trigger. They didn't give away Russ. So I don't really blame the Bears for failing to get Russell Wilson. However, there were signing Andy Dalton. Come on, there was a lot better options. There are some worse options. There are, but there's a lot better options. You could have signed Alex Smith. Could have traded for Sam Darnold. Um, you know, who's now a Panther. We'll get into that in a moment. Yeah, but Marcus Mariota. Did I say that already? Marcus Mariota,
No.
Sam Darnold.
We could
Yeah,
have traded
Alex
up
Smith.
in the
Yeah,
draft.
yeah, exactly. I mean, could have maybe pursued Derek Carr even. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, but no, they settled. I think that's a good word is they settled with Andy Dalton. I mean, he did show some okay
No.
stuff with the Cowboys.
No.
Okay stuff, but
No.
look,
It
is he
doesn't
gonna? Is he
matter.
gonna?
It doesn't matter. It
I
doesn't
know,
matter.
I know,
Okay,
I
okay
know,
for
I
quarterbacks
know, I
does
know, I
not get the
know.
job done. It does not get the fucking
You
job
gotta.
done.
I
We
know
need
that.
playmakers.
You gotta
Why
let
Andy
Don. Let me
Dalton?
finish my
He's not even
points. Let me
average.
Don. Let
Sorry,
me
I'm
finish
just
my points.
I don't get
I'm
it.
trying to get.
Andy
I'm trying to
Dalton.
argue your side.
Justin
You fool.
Jefferson and DK Metcalf could have been Eagles. All right, go ahead.
Yes, we know. We know. Fuck off. No, anyways, I was trying to say that yes, I don't like the Andy Dalton signing. They settled. They settled on a mediocre ass quarterback that at best is gonna go like 6-11 at
Sure.
best. So yeah, because who knows? Like, do you know if Allen Robinson ended up signing that franchise tag? Do you know about that? I mean, I don't know.
I'm not sure. I
Yeah,
mean, at this point, I guess he's probably just gonna sign it just because. And I know the other teams do need him. There's a lot
yeah,
of teams that need, but then again, the draft is so wide receiver heavy almost every year, so you can get pretty
yeah,
much a good wide receiver for the cheap.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
That's
probably gonna
true.
end up signing it.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see. But anyways, yeah. You also mentioned Kyle Full. Oh yeah, just going back to Ryan Pace being an idiot. I mean, dude, he signed. It's funny that you mentioned, them praising Andy Dalton like this is our QB1 because they did the same thing with Mike Glennon 3 years
Yeah,
ago, and Mike Glennon, come on, come
bad.
on.
Can't.
Now you gotta admit that's. I mean, look, Andy Dalton's not a good signing, but you gotta admit Andy Dalton's better than Mike
Andy
Glennon.
Dalton can at least prove himself, but Mike Glennon, he's literally a career third stringer.
Yeah,
So I don't
exactly.
even know why that was in the beginning, and then they got Trubisky, which is instead of Mahomes or Watson, and
Yeah,
then it's been a sinking ship of quarterbacks. It just gets worse every single year.
yeah. That's the truth, man. Yeah, and then they released Kyle Fuller for no reason, who signed with the Broncos now. Great pickup for the Broncos. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, yeah. I don't know. There are actually a couple Bears players that expressed their resentment on Twitter. They're like, dude, are you serious? Like after they released Kyle Fuller, I was like, wow, that's that's not a good situation.
this is bad.
Yeah, but anyways, here, what should we talk about now? We'll talk about. I'm looking at a list of players. I'm looking at Emmanuel Sanders signed with the Bills, and that kind of relates to Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky signed with the Bills. That's a solid quarter. That I think Mitchell Trubisky makes a solid backup quarterback on any
I
team.
think yeah, he's a great backup quarterback. And Emmanuel Sanders, signing with the Bills. I mean, the Bills, kudos to them because they went with 13-3 last year. They're definitely gonna. They didn't lose any coordinators, anything like that. They
That's
barely
right,
lost
they
any
didn't.
players.
Who
Brian
is?
Dable, no one
Yeah,
wanted
yeah,
Brian Dable, so
yeah.
now you're just getting that monster back again, and now you're adding another head to that Ghidorah that they got over there.
Good
So
Dora.
now
Nice Godzilla reference right
I
there.
mean, Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, at least for the past 10 years. Like I'm just talking. I'm talking about like the past 10 years. I'm not saying past 4 or 5 because there's been better, but he's up there with Julio as in like just consistent. Like
Yeah, that's fair.
he's always relevant. He's never inconsistent. And so I think it's a great pickup for him. Another weapon for the Bills. I mean, another weapon for Josh Allen to throw to. I do think they need to get a running back. They need because they didn't have a running
They
game at all.
I mean, okay, this isn't like a top tier running back, but they did sign Matt Breida, who he was on the 49ers a couple years ago. He was pretty decent. The 49ers running backs, honestly, as of the last few years, have actually been pretty good. So I
We'll see.
mean,
I mean, I still think they need to get a running back either way. They need to get a running back, and they need to get
who's their
they need to
it's
get a edge rushers.
who's the running back they had this last season? He was
I
okay.
don't even know.
Yeah,
He was not good.
I can't remember the name, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean that tells you that they need
Yeah,
a
yeah,
good
for
running
sure.
back. So I mean, they need a
That is
running
their
back,
weakest position on offense.
they need a running back and and a defensive lineman because they don't really have a pass rush. They have good corners. They have
Do
good.
they have?
They
They,
don't really have a pass rush.
Ed Oliver, that's a solid player right there.
Yeah, but
Um,
you need a 10 sack a year guy. You know what I mean? A 10 sacks a year. So that's
that's
what they need. I mean, they were going for JJ Watt, but they didn't get him. So
yeah. I ended up signing with the Cardinals.
yeah, and so yeah, I think the Bills are taking care of Josh Allen right now, and that's what you got to do,
Yeah,
especially
you
when you
have
got an
yeah, you
unset
have Stephon Diggs now.
Cole Beasley,
Cole Beasley. Yeah, Cole Beasley.
one of the best slot receivers in the game right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Cole Beasley's always been a great slot receiver. I mean, he torched up the NFC East a little bit, unfortunately, but he's on the Bills now, so I can like the guy a little bit more. Um, yeah, Cole Beasley, Stephon Diggs, now Emmanuel Sanders, like it's good stuff.
Yeah,
It's good stuff. I think the Bills also. No, never mind. I was gonna say they signed Corey Davis, but no, the Jaguars did. I
the
think
Jets.
the Jets. That's right. Yep, the Jets. The Jets. Oh, okay, so I was thinking right, AFC East. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Stephon Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders, Cole Beasley. Those three alone. I mean, that's great stuff, man. That's great stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even
They're.
even just Stephon Diggs is great. I mean that.
I mean,
You'll
yeah,
see
he
him in
led
the
the
first round
league in receptions last season.
and
He's a
receiving.
monster. Yeah, that's right.
He's a
Yeah,
god.
yeah, he's yeah. Bills are gonna go. They're gonna do great. They're gonna win the AFC East again. I think
Yeah,
the Dolphins haven't picked up anybody that's like because the Dolphins I think were the next best thing, but they haven't
yeah.
picked up anybody that's like oh my gosh like this is gonna elevate them. They actually signed Kyle Fuller, um, which it's not bad, but
Dolphins. Will Fuller.
yeah, or Will Fuller. Sorry, my bad. Will Fuller. That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He's up
yeah.
there.
They signed Will Fuller from the Texans, who's he to me he's a good like wide receiver two kind of guy.
Yeah, he's.
I hope
There's no way you
they
make him a number one.
I hope they draft one of the better receivers if they can.
Yeah,
They did the Dolphins did move up to number 6 after trading back from number 3. We'll talk about that in upcoming podcast about the draft. But yeah, they could. I don't know. The Dolphins, I don't think are set to jump past the Bills. The Patriots did get a lot of good players, but nonetheless, I mean, they're all yeah. They could maybe make the
there's
wild
some
card of the
question marks.
Patriots. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But speaking of receivers, and we mentioned J.J. Watt earlier. Speaking of receivers, A.J. Green signed to the Cardinals. What do you think about that?
Um, it's a good signing. AJ Green is definitely past his prime. He hasn't been. He's not really like a. He's not really a Julio, where Julio can be good for just 10 straight years because
No.
he's such a physically dominant player. AJ Green has been. He's a consistent player. His career was kind of dying in Cincinnati because they couldn't get a quarterback,
Yeah.
like a good quarterback. But I
And
will
then by
say
the time they got Joe Burrow, he just didn't care about Cincinnati
yeah, he was
anymore.
done. Like at that point, it's like you want him to restart with I mean, I know Fitzgerald has done it like 18 times, but AJ Green, I mean, he was great. So it's a good signing. They got a three-headed monster now: Fitzgerald, Hopkins, and Green. But
However,
but two of those guys are like super washed up.
yeah, I was gonna
But
say
they're
it's almost
reliable. They're reliable.
okay. That's fair. They're not superstars, but they're reliable. I can
Yeah.
agree with that. Yeah,
So it's good for Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray's going to have another great season. I think
yeah,
he was. The Cardinals are they're such an odd team because like they're making great moves they're making great moves, but like the Rams are also making great moves. The Niners are gonna they're gonna they I mean they made a really great move by drafting up, and the Seahawks
trading up.
obviously
Yeah.
as long as they got Russell Wilson, I mean then you're good. So that it's like it's hard to rank teams in that division,
Mhm.
but
I mean, yeah, it's the toughest division in the league.
it's
That's hard to rank.
insane. So
Yeah,
I'm very interested to see what happens. I think Kyler they're giving Kyler a lot of weapons
they're
clearly.
and not only that, he has veterans too.
Yeah, veterans,
I think
leadership
I think that's important
examples.
because
Yeah,
even if AJ Green and Larry Fitzgerald aren't superstars anymore, they're not top receivers in the league anymore. They're at least veterans and they know what they're
yeah,
doing.
yeah,
They know how. Yeah, they know the NFL. So, and then of course you have the monster and DeAndre Hopkins, another veteran. So, no, I think that's really good for Kyler Murray. I think what they should do is I don't think they're going to be able to get one of the top receiver, or they'll get a good receiver if they choose to draft in the first round a receiver. I think what they could do is they could draft a receiver and then develop him through the veterans. But yeah, that's another draft
yeah.
topic, I guess.
I guess, yeah. If
Yeah.
anything, I think they need more help. They need more so help on their defensive backs. They lost Peterson already.
Yeah. Patrick
They
Peterson signed with the Vikings.
yeah, so they need to pair someone up with Buda Baker, whether a cornerback or a safety.
Yeah.
So, or maybe actually they might need linebacker too. I think their offense is pretty much kind of set right now. You have three reliable receivers with one being a standout. Kyler's he's only going to develop more. I think he's developing to a great quarterback. He had a great rookie year, really good second year this past year. Unfortunately, he missed the last game, but yeah, man, I think he's primed for another breakout season this year. They're giving him weapons and they're focusing on the defense. The Cardinals, they're primed to go at least for a 10-win season. If they can't get to it, then that's when you got to start doing another evaluation on the roster.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Other receivers to talk about. Curtis Samuel from the Panthers signed with the Washington football team. Um, they already have Terry McLaurin, who's honestly one of the most underrated receivers in the league. It's kind of ridiculous. Unfortunate for me as an Eagles fan, but yeah, no, Terry McLaurin super underrated, and now they have Curtis Samuel, who's also very underrated. He did have a 1,000-yard total from line of scrimmage last year as a Panther. He actually had quite a bit of rushing yards too. Yeah, he used both rushing yards and receiving yards to combine for over 1,000 yards. So I mean, even if it's combined, still 1,000-yard season, impressive.
Mhm.
So this definitely solid boost of Washington's receiver core.
It is a solid boost. I'm still questioning their quarterback moves.
Yeah,
Signing Ryan
because
Fitzpatrick. I mean, listen, I get it. It's Fitzpatrick. He's by far the most reliable backup quarterback of all time.
he's
He
the
can be a
journeyman.
starter. He's the journeyman of sports at this point.
Yeah,
I'm guessing the reason they're doing this is because they won their division, so they're not going to get a good draft pick. But like,
yeah.
but then again, like all the free agent quarterbacks, I guess they just weren't interested in. I mean, you want to pair Cam Newton back up with Ron Rivera. I mean, I'm sure at that point, I'm sure good relationship or not, that's a completely different franchise and system. And then, I mean, I guess I think Fitzpatrick is just a placeholder for whatever they want to do in the future. I know next year's quarterback class, just from reading stuff, it's going to be pretty weak. So they want to win now. And then if a quarterback comes along the way, whether free agent, trade, draft, they're gonna keep Fitzpatrick until that moment comes so where they can start building for their future. Obviously, Fitzpatrick he's not gonna be there for 3 or even 2 years. Who knows?
No.
So we'll see,
I
man.
mean,
We'll
he
see.
was nulling retirement, so
Yeah, he's old. He's like super old now.
yeah,
He's
he's
38.
yeah he's a late 30s guy.
Yeah, so he can still sling it though. That's a surprising thing.
Yeah, the only thing is I have to figure out what team he was on when I first started watching football. Because
I think
God, yeah, he
he got drafted by the Falcons. I think yeah, he got drafted by the Falcons or Rams. He got drafted by one of those two.
really the
Yeah,
Falcons or the
Falcons.
Rams.
Yeah, I think I can name them all. Okay, ready? It was like I know he's been on those two. I don't know if it was one of them in a row. I don't know if it was
I
Falcons,
don't
Rams, or
remember.
Rams,
I don't
Falcons.
remember
No,
him ever.
he got drafted in 2005 and 6. This is way before your time. He's been a journeyman
What?
literally since he got in the league. It
Holy
was that,
crap! Okay.
the Bills, and then he was a Jet, I remember. and then a
The only
Buccaneers.
AFC East team he hasn't been on is the Patriots.
Yeah, Buccaneers, Dolphins. What else? What else?
Bengals. Was he?
Nah, he wasn't on the Bengals. Nah, he wasn't. It was on the Bengals. He wasn't. He was never a Browns quarterback.
Oh,
But I know he was on the Jets. He wasn't on an AFC West team. The guy moves around a lot. Let's
yeah,
just
yeah,
say
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Moves around a lot. So, and now he's in Washington. Of course he is. And so, yeah, we'll see. I think Curtis Samuel's a good signing. Yeah, very
Yeah.
underrated receiver. I mean, I think now that they got Sam Darnold, I think that would have been helpful. But they're picking high enough where you can get a top three receiver. There's three great receivers: Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, who won the Heisman. Those three are there. So if any teams in the top, at least top 12, need a receiver, all three of them are great picks. And I think the Panthers are what, like they're eighth, I think, eighth or ninth.
They're eighth.
So they're one of them's gonna be there, and then boom, you can replace them with who knows, maybe one of them will be even better. Whoever they get, I think
Well,
Jamar Chase is the best.
the Panthers. So Curtis Samuel was the third. He was the third wide receiver because you have Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore as 1 and 2, and then they had Curtis Samuel as 3. They signed David Moore from the Seahawks, who is a solid number 3 receiver. So they got that replaced already.
And they got McCaffrey. So maybe
And McCaffrey.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe they might go Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, whatever team that guy goes on, he's gonna be the next Tony Gonzalez. That guy is awesome.
Yeah.
I've watched like some footage of him. He is a Gronkowski kind of guy.
For sure. I'm excited to see him in the league.
The Eagles could have drafted him, but they moved out. But anyway, what were we saying?
Fuck you, man. I was gonna go on to different receivers. And also stay local at the NFC East. Kenny Galladay signed with the Giants. Also, Kyle Rudolph from the Vikings signed with the Giants too. I mean, Kyle Rudolph is definitely past his prime though. But I mean, he's
Another
still
reliable. He's reliable.
But he's still reliable.
Yeah.
I think what this does is Kenny Galladay and Kyle Rudolph. I think this gives the Giants one more like chance really to evaluate Daniel Jones, because this is the first time Daniel Jones is going to have a competent receiver. I mean, ever since he's been in the league, Sterling Shepard has been his best receiver. I mean, yeah. Sterling Shepard, he's serious. That's the number 3 receiver on a great team, you know?
Yeah.
And so Kenny Galladay, he was number 1 receiver with the Lions, yeah. And then Marvin Jones Jr. was the number 2, who signed with the Jaguars, by the way. Solid boost for Trevor Lawrence when he gets drafted by the Jaguars. But back to the Giants, Kenny Galladay. Yeah, I think, that's the first solid receiver that Daniel Jones has had. And a solid tight end, too, Evan Ingram. God knows how bad he was and how his selection to the Pro Bowl last year was one of the most bullshit selections ever. Oh, and the Giants signed John Ross from the Bengals. So that's actually it's John Ross is, I think, a pretty underrated young receiver in the league. So I think this gives the Giants a true chance to evaluate how good Daniel Jones really is.
Plus Saquon is back too.
Yeah, Saquon is back too, and I mean he's a solid dual threat. Definitely more on the running back side, but nonetheless a dual threat still. Yeah. So what do you got on that?
I mean, it's a great signing. I mean, obviously, I've said before, I don't think Daniel Jones I don't like him as a quarterback. I think he's the turnover machine. He played all right down the stretch last year. But at the end of the day, they were still 6-10 team. You still lost 10 games.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I hope. Listen, I mean, I like the Giants as an organization. They don't get on my nerves like the Eagles or the Cowboys do. But I mean, but I do want the best for the Giants because I'd rather see them be the top of that division than the Eagles or Cowboys or
piss off.
Dude, at this point, I don't really care about the Eagles anymore. They have nothing going for them. Okay, 2 years ago, I was all in. Oh yeah, go Eagles. Now I don't care. Now I want a new team. I want a new team. So Giants.
Okay, that's fair.
I want the
That's fair.
Washington football team to get a name before I can start rooting for them. So until then, the Giants are my team that I'm rooting for in that division. I'm not rooting for them as an organization. But as a
Yeah,
team in that division, go Giants. But Daniel Jones needs to go. Whether even if he has an okay season, like let's say he throws like it's 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and like 3,700 yards, I think you still drop him. I still
really.
think you move him because. But here's the thing.
But let's be realistic here.
That's
If he
if
has that
he's a
type of season,
turnover
there.
machine.
Okay, but I mean, I don't know. So I think, yeah, I will agree in the sense that I think he does have to have a good year in order
Yeah.
to, you know.
He needs to
But we'll
have a
we'll see.
good year with like key wins. If you only win 4 or 5 games and you have decent numbers, that's not good enough. Even if he
I
even
think
even even if he throws for the numbers that I just said that he might throw for, but if they're still like a 10 loss team, more than 10 loss team, you got to move off. It's the easiest. That division is the easiest division to win in at this
that
in
or
this
the AFC
today.
South, one of those two.
No, the AFC South is going to be much better. Tennessee, Indianapolis, and Jaguars are going to have Trevor Lawrence. That's going to if
Okay,
there's
yeah,
if
yeah,
there's
that's
two
fair.
good
That's
teams
fair.
in that division, it's going to be hard.
Yeah. Okay,
Every
that's
team in
fair.
the NFC East is like kind of just they all feel incomplete. Like none of them feel like a complete team.
That's true.
The Cowboys don't have a defense to speak of. The Eagles don't have anything. They're just kind of just nameless. There's like Juju said about the Browns. They're just a bunch of nameless gray faces. That's what the Eagles are.
Yeah, except
And the
Juju was wrong
Giants,
though.
yeah, he was wrong, but I'm right. But the Giants, Daniel Jones doesn't feel like a franchise quarterback, and what the football team doesn't have a name. They don't have a quarterback, but that's really it. Like if we're talking about like talent wise, it's New York and Washington. Everything the other two can just go ahead and fuck off. But
Honestly, I think the Giants could win the division this year. They I think the Giants are the most complete team. Their defense was honestly pretty underrated last season. I think the only reason they didn't do better was just because of how bad the offense was,
yeah,
with Saquon out and Daniel Jones not having weapons and Daniel Jones himself.
yeah.
So
So
I think the Giants honestly could probably win the division this year, considering
they're in perfect position too. They got the best
yeah
offense at least.
yeah they had the best free agency of the NFC East teams. They already almost won the division anyways. Had had the Eagles beaten Washington, the Giants would have won the division. You know,
Mhm.
so yeah, I think the Giants are primed to win the NFC East next season.
My thing is that whatever Dallas does in the draft, I think that's going to affect how I feel about them in terms of the division. No matter what, no, 'cause hold on. No matter what, Philadelphia is going to be the last place, right? Even you agree with that,
Very
right?
likely. The only other team I could see the Eagles
Is
being better than is
Dallas.
yeah.
Yeah. So Washington. So unless Dallas drafts, like, let's say Dallas gets Kyle Pitts, and they pair him with Dak's $40 million a year contract. You got CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Zeke, who I mean,
Yeah, I know, I know.
Eagles fan or not, he's still a capable running back. So let's say they get Kyle Pitts
Oh,
and
I
the
know
rest of the
this.
draft
I've
is
had a
good.
Zeke on my fantasy team. Not this last season, but the last two seasons in a row before.
So yeah, man, I think like all Dallas needs to do is draft If they draft Kyle Pitts and then just focus on defense the entire draft, and they got Dan Quinn back, who he's not a head coach anymore. So that's as long as he's not a head coach,
Oh
he's
yeah, that is true. That's a
he
better
was the I
defensive
mean
coordinator.
he was the inventor of the Legion of Boom. So imagine what you can do if you give him some good cornerbacks and stuff. So
Yeah, that's a
um,
fair point.
so Dallas after the draft can be in a good position to maybe take that one spot. The Giants need to listen. If it doesn't work out with Daniel Jones, at least you still have a solid roster for whoever you bring in next. Because this is the last opportunity for him.
Yeah.
And so, but the Kenny Galladay, it's a great signing, and they finally have their Odell Beckham replacement.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, who's next?
Since we're on the topic of receivers, Deshaun Jackson to the Rams. Um, that's a
I
sad
don't
one
have
for
much to
me.
say. I don't. Yeah. Well,
I
you take this
if
one.
the Rams can keep him healthy, it's an underrated signing. The only problem with him, the only problem was he was unhealthy. He was injured the last two seasons, pretty much on the Eagles, and that's why we could never utilize him, except for like 2 games.
He's
And
not
he
going to
did
be healthy.
exactly what we wanted him to do, was catch deep balls for touchdowns. So I think, I mean, if you can keep him healthy, utilize him in that manner, I think it's going to elevate the play of Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. So I think that's honestly an underrated signing as long as he stays healthy.
I agree with every point you. I agree with every point you made there. And now you have Stafford, who has the arm of like
Yeah, exactly.
is a cannon
Stafford
arm.
too.
So it's a good pairing. But like you said, if he's healthy, it works out. If he's not healthy, it's just wasted money.
Yeah,
Which I think, to like judging by his past, his most recent pass, it doesn't look like even if he's gonna get injured somehow.
but
He's kind of
nonetheless,
fragile
I
now.
I will say, I mean, I will argue in his case in the sense that the Eagles are just shit at keeping their players healthy, anyways. So
So we'll see. Maybe he has a career resurgence. Who knows?
yeah. Let me see. Had to sneeze there.
You didn't
Sorry.
even catch it. You're
I
muted
muted
like
myself real quick. That's why.
ah.
Yeah. A little sneaky in there, I guess one of the last wide receiver things is T.Y. Hilton. Okay. T.Y. Hilton re-signed with the Colts for less money than other options. The Ravens offered him more money. T.Y. Hilton re-signed with the Colts. Honestly, great for the Colts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good for the Colts.
Sammy Watkins signed with the Ravens. I Ideally, Sammy Watkins is a number 2, number 3 receiver to me, but it's a decent number 1 option.
I
It's
mean, yeah, it is.
I mean, it's not gonna elevate the passing game of Baltimore that much, but it'll do it some justice. So
I mean, here's the thing. I love Lamar Jackson, and
yeah, of course.
he's one of the few players where I literally wish him nothing. Like I literally do want the best for Lamar Jackson. I don't even want the best for Lamar Jackson. So
Yeah,
it's like, listen, no one else wanted to sign with them. I mean, Des Bryant. They gave him a chance, but he wasn't the old throw up the X guy. He was just another bum. I mean, they could have gotten. They could still get Antonio Brown, which I think too. I mean, what they need to do right now is get another receiver. Sammy Watkins shouldn't be the start or the end of the
no,
receiver chase. So I mean, Lamar can run for days, but at the end of the day, you saw it last year. Teams were able to figure him out a lot more. So I think at this point you got to elevate the passing game. Sammy Watkins, he's like the bare minimum of an elevation. He's like a jump. He want to know what he is? Instead of going from the bottom floor to up the stairs and you reach the top of the stairs, this is like a little
yeah,
hop. It wasn't he didn't run up the stairs or anything like that. So it's an okay signing. Not a big fan of it, but who else is out there? You know what I mean? No one else wanted to sign with them.
yeah, that's true. Um, all right, I think we're done with receivers for now. 'Cause I think that pretty much covers it. Let's talk about our teams, the Eagles and Chargers. Um,
Go ahead.
so for me, I'll start with the Eagles. The two big things that happened with us, other than trading in the draft, which we'll save that for next week, because the draft is coming up in 2 to 3 weeks now, and I think it's more appropriate to go more in depth into the draft in the upcoming weeks. But aside from draft move, the Eagles signed Joe Flacco to be the backup quarterback, and we signed Anthony Harris from the Vikings.
Mm.
For me, I like both those signings. I said earlier, Howie Roseman does some good things on occasion. Those were some of those good things. Joe Flacco is a solid backup quarterback. I mean, solid veteran, and I think he's going to help Jalen Hurts a lot and develop as a quarterback, as a thrower. So I'm happy with that. And Anthony Harris is one of the best safeties in the league, and that's a solid replacement for Malcolm Jenkins going to the Saints. So I'm definitely happy with the signing. What do you think?
I think it's also I mean, the Anthony Harris signing was good. Um, but Joe Flacco, yeah, is a good backup. Knowing the Eagles, he'll probably be getting a lot of play time because there's a lot of impatience in Philadelphia. I feel so. If Jalen Hurts doesn't automatically, like they're gonna give him 6 or 7 games to at least figure it out. And if they're like 2-5, then they're just gonna pull the plug on him and they're just gonna start Flacco for the rest of the season. And
I
it's probably
could
gonna tank.
I could see that.
So yeah, I mean, listen, it's good if you want to just be consistently bad. I mean, that's that. I mean, it's a good signing, but he's not gonna take your team to the next level like how he did in Baltimore. In his
Well,
earlier
no,
years.
I mean he's past that. He's not there. He's not signing on any team to elevate them to Super Bowl status anymore. No, he's gotten to the point in his career where he's a backup, you know,
Yeah.
and he's a solid one, and that's why I'm happy with the signing. So
At this point, any backup is okay. I mean, whether they got Mitchell Trubisky or anybody, or what if the Eagles signed Andy Dalton? Then yes, it's a good signing. Like it could have been anybody.
yeah, that's
So the Eagles need is a franchise quarterback, and Jalen Hurts is not that. I don't think.
I think he
Flacco.
could be. We only
I
had
don't think
four.
he can
We
be.
only had 4 games to evaluate him with Doug
And he
Peterson as the
showed
coach.
and he showed promise in the first one. In the
First two,
first one,
but
he showed promise. And the Packers was all right. The Saints was good, and then he just fell off the rest of the season.
no. Against the Cardinals, he
He was
had a
okay.
no. He threw for over 300 yards and had 4 TDs. That's a good game.
Listen, Justin Herbert has had that game
No,
like times.
that's Justin Herbert. I mean,
But this
look,
is, and we're
look.
talking Jalen Hurts.
I mean,
Either
look. I
way, the
mean,
initials are JH. Either way.
look. I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is as good as Justin Herbert. Obviously, good Justin Herbert is a fucking specimen, but dude, Justin Herbert's so good, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. I mean, yeah, in the best rookie season of any quarterback ever, it's insane. He's
Yeah.
so, but I think it's unfair after 4 games to say Jalen Hurts is not. We haven't had. I don't know. I think we need more time.
Okay, and I want you. I don't want the optimism or pessimism. I just want your thoughts. Do you in by 2022, the 2022 season, is Jalen Hurts going to be the starting quarterback?
I
Do you
I don't
really
know.
feel that way?
I have no clue.
I'll tell you. I'll give you. I'll give you a little. I'll give you like those little magic crystal balls, those little thingamajiggies.
Yeah. I know
No,
what you're talking about.
yeah, the
Yeah,
predictions are done. I already asked it. Like I asked 2 hours before the show. It's done. There's not gonna be Jalen Hurts is done in Philadelphia. Philadelphia dropped the ball. Let's just be honest. They killed their own dynasty before it even became a dynasty.
Oh well, I mean that's true, but I mean I don't know.
Yeah, but it's at the point where no coach or quarterback can dig him out of that hole. The only silver lining through all this is that they play in such a shitty division like the NFC East. That's the only silver lining. But guess what? All 3 of those other teams, they're at least making impactful moves. Joe Flacco was not an impactful move. Anthony Harris is not an impactful move.
Anthony,
Trading
no.
Carson Wentz is a negatively impactful move. They don't make impactful moves. How many times can I say impactful moves for something for you to get it? The Eagles don't make impactful moves.
Okay, but who have the Cowboys signed? Honestly, who have the Cowboys signed? No. Okay, but you're saying that the Cowboys that the Eagles are the only team that has not made an impactful move. But who the Cowboys signed?
Cowboys
Cowboys
re-signed
have
Dak, which is the most important signing. Whether you like it or not, Dak is a top 15 quarterback.
okay,
And don't
but
be
they
like,
didn't.
oh no, he's
Okay,
not.
but they
He
didn't grab
is.
anybody new.
That's fine because they're gonna rebuild. If there's no listen, the players that they want. Oh, first off, and they got a few safeties from Atlanta that Dan Quinn has history with,
Okay,
and
let's see.
Keanu
Let's
Neal
see.
has always been a great safety.
They got
So
Keanu
I
Neal.
think yes, they got Keanu Neal. They got another
Oh
guy
yeah,
too,
yeah.
another like Falcon safety. So they're rebuilding their defense. They're making impactful moves. And
God, dog. All right,
and my
enough
thing is that
with the impactful moves.
there's no impactful moves happening in
Look,
Philadelphia.
Anthony
Okay.
Harris is one of the best safeties in the league. I'd say that's impactful.
Okay, that is impactful,
You
but
can
it's gonna
okay. I'll give it to you that Joe
but here's the
Flacco's
thing,
not
it's not
impactful.
it's not impactful where he's gonna change your organization.
Okay,
It's not
all right, but
that
I
Eagles
don't think
defense.
Dak's
Eagles
gonna.
are gonna be
Okay,
trash.
Dak's not gonna change the Cowboys. Let's be honest here.
He's gonna keep they're gonna be what now, like 8-9 or 9-8.
Exactly. So then that's not impactful. If you're
But they
defining
and guess what?
impactful
And guess
as
what? The Eagles won
changing,
what? How many games did the Eagles win? Like four? They won like 4 games, right?
yes, yes,
Yeah, guess
I
what?
don't need a history lesson on my own team.
Guess what the impact is of these terrible of these signings. They're about to be go down another 2 games. They're gonna be what 2-15. Terrible, Avery. Terrible. The fact that you
No.
can defend this. They're gonna be disgusting. No
I mean,
defense,
how
no
can I
good
not
offense.
defend signing Anthony Harris? I mean, it's one of the best safeties in the league.
Jalen Rieger, and JJ Arcega-Whiteside are your
Okay,
cornerstones of the
that's a different
franchise.
conversation, in that
That is disgusting.
which I agree
Disgusting.
with you on.
You could
That's a
have had.
different.
Do you want me to mention it again? Want to know who you could have
Yes,
had?
I know.
You
We
want to
could have
hear
had
it for
Justin
the
Jefferson and
first
DK
time?
Metcalf, asshole.
And
Look,
DK Metcalf.
I
Exactly.
know, I
You got
know.
JJ Arcega-White and Jalen Rieger. You call these impactful moves? Howie
No,
Roseman is the
I
opposite of
agree with you. Why
impactful.
are you
He
even
makes he makes just
done?
disgusting moves. Earthquake shaking moves. You need impactful. I'm done with the Eagles. I'm not a fan of them. I rooted them out of the kindness of my heart to you. I'm taking that kindness back. I wish I never gave it to you in the first place if I knew it was going to end like this.
Holy
So
shit!
screw the
Wow.
Eagles. The Cowboys, matter of fact, I hope
Are
they
you
draft Kyle
so
Pitts.
offended?
And I hope the Cowboys run amok all over your disgusting birds.
Wow.
I hope the Giants win the division. I hope the football team gets a name and also destroys the Eagles.
I mean,
I'm done with the Eagles.
I think everybody hopes Washington gets a football name.
I can't believe I hate the Eagles more than I hate the Cowboys. Because if you're not a Cowboys fan, you hate the Cowboys. It's automatic. If you don't like the Cowboys, that means you hate them. So I'm done. Like I'm rooting for the Cowboys this year. I want them to actually do good. I want Dak to do good, better than your terrible Howie Roseman, Jeff Lurie, letting go of Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz. Could have had it all. Could have had like another 3 Super Bowls in the next 12 years. But no. Let me go and draft Jalen Hurts.
God,
why am I getting angry about your stuff?
you got into a tangent that wasn't even necessary, and I already agree with you on. You totally delved away from Anthony Harris.
We got this far from Joe Flacco and Anthony Harris.
Wow, holy crap!
It's because it's deeper underlying meanings. That's why. You know what I mean?
Which I already ranted about in a previous podcast.
Well, I had to give it some flavor.
You had to give your rant. Wow.
All right, let's talk about the Chargers.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Little crap birds.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well. God. Okay. Well. All right. The Chargers signed.
Bring it to the good team.
We get it, Adon. We get it. Okay. Jesus. Okay. The Chargers signed Jared Cook, solid replacement for
great replacement, better if anything.
For Hunter Henry.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I think he's a great tight end. I am so looking forward to Chargers drafting because whether we get a tackle, a receiver, which I think we're going to get a offensive lineman. I'm excited for the Chargers this year. I think we have a great roster. Excuse me, and I think we're primed. I think Justin Herbert's primed for a god tier season, dude. There are almost every NFL page on Instagram and Twitter, like when they do like their little quarterback rankings heading into 2021, I'm surprised that most of them have Justin Herbert in their top 10. Now, granted, he's in like from like the number 6 through 10, but even then, coming off one rookie season, he's already a top 10 quarterback among most people who watch the NFL, including myself. I do think he's a top 10
Yeah, so
quarterback.
do I. Yeah.
He had a great season for any quarterback, not just a rookie. So I'm excited, man. I cannot wait to get this season going. Jared Cook is a great replacement. Like if they were gonna replace him, like the only other good replacement would have been drafting Kyle Pitts, but that wasn't possible. They draft too late. So Jared Cook in the meantime, yeah, I'll take him. He's a beast in Madden if people play that still. But yeah, man, I'm excited for the signings. We signed Corey Linsley. We talked about that already. I think we're primed. We're primed for a breakout season. And I hope the Raiders and Broncos eat our dust because I don't think they're making any good moves this year. The
No.
Chiefs are the Chiefs, so we're not going to win the division, but we're going to make the wild card. 11-6, 12-5. I wouldn't be surprised if we win that many games.
It's so weird saying predicting records with uneven numbers now. It's so weird.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
I don't like it. Yeah. Jeez. Anyways. Yeah,
What do you
pretty
got to say about my Chargers? Come on, go ahead.
well, I mean, yeah, signing Jared Cook's solid replacement for Hunter Henry. I mean, there's not much to say. You pretty much hit on all the points. Justin Herbert, that's a solid weapon replacement for him, as if he's not going to ball out. It's Justin Herbert, as I called him a specimen earlier. So, yeah, it's solid moves. I totally agree the Chargers are going to be a wild card team. Yeah. To keep it in the West, in the AFC West, the Chiefs got their offensive lineman replacements. They signed Joe. We mentioned this already. They signed Joe Thuney from the Patriots, but Kyle Long came out of retirement to sign with the Chiefs. So, yeah, the Chiefs let go of 2 solid offensive linemen, picked up 2 to replace them. Boom, easy done. The Chiefs are still
So
very likely
they still need tackles.
I mean, they could move around their positions as well. They could do that. I mean, that happens all the time. So
yeah, and then here's the thing: it didn't matter what the Chiefs did; they're still going to be the 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah, they're still going to be the 1 seed. They're still going to end up at the least in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, I mean, it really is amazing how they have really become the new New England Patriots now.
Yeah, they truly have. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's not much to talk about the Raiders. They signed Kenyon Drake from the Cardinals, which solid run. But they already have Josh Jacobs. Yeah. So
got a receiver.
Yeah, I didn't understand that signing. I mean, not that it's a bad signing. So, I mean, it's a solid number 2, but nonetheless, it's not like game breaking or anything.
Yeah, it's like okay. It's like one of those signings. All right.
Yeah. The Broncos, we mentioned that they signed Kyle Fuller from the Bears, and they re-signed Justin Simmons. So Justin Simmons, one of the top safeties in the league. So that's solid for them to keep.
It's they need any secondary help they can get, especially in that division where every quarterback is a gunslinger except for yours. You know what I mean? So it's a good signing. I still think they're gonna probably finish last because
very likely.
They need to figure that out, but I think they will. I mean, there's rumors of Atlanta trading their 4 pick to the Broncos, so we'll see, man.
That'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Honestly, there's a couple defenders to talk about. Here, let's see. Desmond King, who was with the Chargers and then the Titans for like the last half of the season, signed with the Texans. I mean, it's a solid signing, but it's not going to change the Texans' fate.
Yeah.
They're going to win 2 games tops.
I agree.
Desmond Trufant got signed to the Bears to replace Kyle Fuller. I mean, at least they did get a solid replacement, but it's still a downgrade.
It's a downgrade by I can't even. I can't even.
Some of the so actually kind of underrated or overlooked, I should say. The Saints have been giving away some defensive uh, linemen. Sheldon Rankins went from the Saints, went to the Jets. Honestly, underrated defensive lineman.
Mhm.
Um, there's another one I saw, but yeah, yeah, there's Sheldon Rankins to the Jets. What else? Oh, the Cardinals signed Malcolm Butler.
Oh, that's a. I actually didn't know about that.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow, that's a
yeah.
great
Cardinals.
signing.
Yeah, I think he's getting towards the little old side. I mean, the Cardinals are honestly just becoming the retirement home of the NFL.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Malcolm Butler, he's still like in his late 20s, late 30s. He's still
No, yeah, he's
capable.
still good.
I
I
mean, like, think about it. I mean, in his prime, he was like the top three cornerback. So I think no matter what, I mean, listen, I guess it's just the Cardinals' name of the game. They want to get veteran. Listen, they want to get good. They want to get veteran players so they can win now, not for the future.
for sure.
Kyler Murray, they know Kyler Murray. They know Kyler Murray is their future, but they don't want to spend like 4 years being bad to develop him. They want to just they want to surround him with a good enough team where he's able to take his team to the next level. So I mean, I think honestly, Malcolm Butler is an upgrade over Patrick Peterson in my opinion.
That's bold.
I think so. I mean, Patrick
Huh.
Peterson's been on a kind of a he's been all right. He's just been
I mean, it's
listen, they're
been
both reliable, but Malcolm
yeah.
Butler,
I
Butler,
can't
he's
make a definitive opinion on that just because I haven't really analyzed both of those players individually in a long time. But hmm, that is an interesting statement, though. A couple other uh, just before we go into a couple quarterback topics, um, which will be our last two things, I think. A couple other signings. The Browns signed both cornerback Troy Hill from the Rams. That's a solid cornerback right there.
right.
And then they
Good
signed Malik
from their top
Jackson.
defense.
Yeah, yes, signed Malik Jackson from the Eagles, who I think was very much underutilized with the Eagles and will probably have a career resurgence. Maybe he's still. I don't think he'll be as good as he was with Saxonville um,
Hmm.
in 2017, but nonetheless, I think he's going to play better in the Browns than he did with the Eagles. Also, that works great with Myles Garrett as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great pair.
the Browns have been making some good signings. They did sign, we already covered, but they signed John Johnson from the Rams as well, solid safety.
Yeah.
So the Browns are making good replacements or with their defense, and that was their.
Upgrades.
Sorry, yeah, upgrade. Yeah, they're making a lot of upgrades with their defense, and it just propels them to an even more likelihood that they return to the playoffs.
And I think this puts them in a good position to win the division, actually.
Yeah, that's
Because the
honestly
Steelers are going to drop off. Bengals are nowhere near. Baltimore now is kind of being shown as an inconsistent good team. So it's going to be
yeah,
Browns and Ravens. Hopefully.
it's gonna be Browns and Ravens for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
Steelers are definitely gonna fall off. I mean, I think the Steelers should have gone with a new quarterback, but they are resigning Roethlisberger.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I think one of the last defensive signings is the Patriots got Kyle Van Noy back from
They got
the from
leadership back at least.
yeah
That's maybe not the production that he used to have, but they got the leadership back.
yeah for sure. Kyle Van Noy had a great season with the Dolphins. I really don't know
Yeah.
why they released him, and yeah, the Patriots are getting one of the best linebackers in the league. Honestly, it's not like a
Mhm.
top five, I think, but he's top 10 maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
solid linebacker.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, anyways, what? Yeah. So, you had anything more to say about that?
Got Kyle Van Noy? No,
Yeah.
not necessarily.
Okay. Yeah. So that I think we've covered all the stuff that we've missed now. Pretty much, I think everything we wanted to.
Mhm.
Now, the most recent thing that happened was 2 days ago. Sam Darnold got traded to Carolina. What do you think about that?
I think it's a great move by the. I think it's great for both teams. If the Jets weren't picking two, like let's say they were picking like 9 or 10 or 11, then I think they probably would have kept Sam Darnold. but
Yeah.
they're picking two, and Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence are like Trevor Lawrence is going to be gone. Everyone's saying Zach Wilson. They're saying it's going to be Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence are going to be like they're going to be like there's always at least two quarterbacks from every draft class that work out. So I think it's going to be those two, and they're gonna get Zach Wilson, who I think is I've been doing more draft study, like draft prospect study for this year than I have for most year, maybe for like since like the past 4 years. So because I'm very excited about the quarterback potential of almost every team. So I think it's great for the Jets. They're gonna get a nice restart. They're gonna probably finish last in their division because of you got to
Yeah.
face Belichick, Flores, and Sean McDermott twice a year. So, but it's a good stepping stone, obviously. And for the Panthers, you get a capable quarterback who has never been given a fair shot. Let's just be honest. He's been surrounded by
Yeah.
dumpster fire players. And when you have Adam
And,
Gase
and
as your
Adam Gase.
coach for
Yeah.
your first 3 years, you're obviously not going to have a good. You're not no quarterback. Mahomes could have been in there. Mahomes would be the next Matthew Stafford under Adam Gase. Great, but like he would never make the
Yeah.
playoffs.
That's
Like
so
that.
true.
So, so I think Sam Darnold, he's going to be given a fair shot. Now, listen, everybody thinks that Sam Darnold's just going to automatically blossom. I'm still not. I'm still on the fence about him. Here's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of remains the same or if he kind of breaks out. Either way, he has a capable team around him. He has good receivers. You got Christian McCaffrey, capable offensive line. The Panthers defense is very underrated. They were the only reason why they were had so many close games, but Teddy Bridgewater, who's by no means a star level quarterback, could finish the job. So that's why they
I
went
mean,
five
yeah,
and five.
he literally never finished the job. The Panthers were 0 for 8 on uh
Yeah.
game potential winning drives. That literally.
So yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Sam Darnold. So I think the Sam Darnold trade works out for their favor. I mean, obviously, with like everything that's happening with Deshaun Watson, he's kind of off the market right now, and so they had to go for like the next available best quarterback, and you obviously had a couple options. You had Darnold. You could have picked up Mariota. You could have traded up to in the draft. But they just figured, let's just go for the safe option, the cheap option. I mean, they didn't have
Yeah, they
to.
got him for cheap.
They got into a sixth round and then a second and a third round for next year. Which, if
I
it
think it's a
works out,
fourth.
oh yeah, it's like a second. I know what
I
second round
think
pick is
it's
one of.
I think it's a 6th round pick this year and then 2 and 4 next year.
Okay, yeah, I think that is right. And so they didn't have to give up much. I
No,
mean,
they didn't.
the second round pick is kind of like oof, but the fourth and sixth, and if it ends up turning out good for the Panthers, let's say they sneak their way into the wild card this year, or even if they like improve from last year, like Darnold just has a career year. I think either way, it's a win. So I think both teams are now in great positions to start their rebuild. The Jets have a fresh start. Now you got Sam Darnold because you're not really trying to replace Cam Newton. Now you're just trying to find like the right fit. Let's just be honest. For like the past 2 years, they've been trying to replace Cam Newton. Kyle Allen and Teddy Bridgewater. They're not there. Those are not the candidates to replace Cam Newton.
No, they're not.
So you got Sam Darnold, who has shown he has shown promise. We'll see. I know a lot of NFL pundits love him. Colin Coward loves him. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I'm excited. I'm intrigued to watch the Panthers. I wish them nothing but the best. But we'll see, man. I'm excited. I think it was a good trade overall.
Yeah, I like a lot of the things the Panthers did with this, and then a couple other signings from the Panthers I actually did mention. They signed Denzel Perryman from the Chargers, solid inside
That's a good
linebacker.
sign.
Hassan Riddick from the Cardinals, also another solid inside linebacker. And then apparently they just signed AJ Boye. The Carolina Panthers official Instagram, at least, is reporting that they've made a couple posts too. So AJ Boye, solid cornerback. I mean, past his prime, but still good. And oh, jeez, that was our great friend Alex trying to FaceTime me. um, and then
Nice.
yeah, now Sam Darnold. I mean, I think this is a win for the. I think it's a win for everybody. 'Cause, I mean, it's a win for the Jets because you don't like you don't want to do what the Eagles did, where they had Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts, who are two capable starting level quarterbacks in the league. You don't want that. You don't. And and yeah, you don't want that situation. So they get out of that situation. They still got the number 2 pick. They're probably going to draft Zach Wilson because Trevor Lawrence will be off the market. So I mean, they'll get their quarterback replacement. Sam Darnold moves to a better system. You know, I mean, he's been working with absolute just a complete lack of weapons over the last few years. The only good receiver he ever had was Robbie Anderson, who he's now reunited with. So there you go. And yeah, just not just Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey, the best dual threat running back in the league. You know, in the last 2 seasons that he played full, because unfortunately he missed most of the last season. In both his last 2 seasons he played full, he did 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards apiece. So I I think Sam Darnold's really overlooked. I've seen. I mean, he's had some bad games. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've seen him and it was bad, but nonetheless, I mean, it's kind of hard not to be when you are playing with such bad condition. Adam Gase, all the lackluster, people at skill positions. I mean, it happened to Carson Wentz this last season with the Eagles. So I mean, yeah, Carson Wentz had the worst season of his entire career. I think the worst is behind Sam Darnold. I think he's only going to see great from here, and the Panthers get a solid quarterback to replace Teddy Bridgewater because, yeah, Teddy Bridgewater was not the answer.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's a win-win, but I do think at the end of this day, the Panthers do win the trade more because honestly, I thought Sam Darnold was worth a little bit more than what the Panthers gave away.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's a big win for everybody, especially the Panthers and Sam Darnold.
Agreed.
And especially since, as you said, the whole Deshaun Watson situation that's going on. Yeah, this is the next best option. Absolutely is. I think we could see. I think we could totally see another Ryan Tannehill situation with Sam Darnold, where Ryan Tannehill had just a mediocre to bad, career with the Dolphins, and then signs with the Titans, and then absolutely just elevates to one of the better, to at least a top 12 quarterback. You know, that's another discussion.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, I'll give you that. He's probably 12 or 11, but I'll give you that.
Yeah. I think Tannehill's at least top 12. Yeah,
Okay.
I think Sam Darnold can become that.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but he could push for
But
13.
here's the thing.
He's like,
Before
yeah.
Tannehill had his career resurgence, he was in the league for like 7 years.
No, he wasn't. He was not in the league for that long.
When do you think he was drafted?
He was drafted.
Because he was
Let's
drafted
let's
in
not say think.
2012.
Let's look this up.
He was drafted in 2012.
No, when?
Yeah, he's been in the league for a long time.
What?
Yeah.
Holy
so,
crap!
So before you
I
start,
honestly, wow! I really
before
thought
you
he was
start-
drafted like
before
20.
you start discrediting me,
Okay.
make sure
You know,
give me
all
your
right,
facts
all
and you
right.
come with it. You don't
Okay.
ever discredit.
Okay, Don. All right. I'm sorry. I'll give
Ryan
you.
Tannehill.
I
Tannehill
really-
had
I
7
really
years
thought-
under his belt.
I really thought he was drafted in like 2014 or 15 or
Nah,
something.
he's been
Holy
in the league
crap!
for a long ass time. So listen, thing. Darnold has what 3 years under his belt.
Yeah,
2.5 'cause he
and
kinda missed
and
half
he's
the
still
last
one of the youngest quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, he's still 23. He's a kid.
Yeah.
So whether he has a career resurgence or not,
He's younger than Joe Burrow.
yeah, he's younger than all of them. Lamar, he's younger than all of them. So, listen, he has the keys to the franchise now. Clearly, they're giving him it all because he's clearly their number one. So it's up to him. I'm excited to see what he does. He's been in terrible situations. He has receivers now, good coach, good offensive coordinator. He has good GM who's willing to give him talent. So he has the tools. Let's see if all that hype that you give into him, that Colin Coward gives into him, that all the other NFL pundits give him. Personally, what do I think? I think the guy's an okay quarterback. He can succeed. I don't, but then again, it's like that 20. If he succeeds, then that 2018 quarterback draft class just becomes that much more legendary. Because
Yeah.
what you got, Allen, Baker, Lamar, and if Darnold starts to break out and becomes the franchise quarterback in Carolina, then boom, you got four quarterbacks from one class who are all the leaders of their young team. So good on them.
Yeah. And then I guess the last thing then to cover is Deshaun Watson. So
Uh,
we're not going to enter opinions on what's going on with him, but more so just how this affects his what's going to happen with him. So
yeah.
he been multiple sexual assault / harassment accusations made against him over the last few weeks. So and he could potentially be facing some very serious legal trouble. Also could not. He could end up being innocent. Who knows? But nonetheless, he's in a bit of a legal pickle right now. With that being said, how much do you think this affects his future?
I think honestly, I think well, there's 24 women now.
Oh my
He's
God,
not
it's
gonna see.
24.
It's in the 20s now. He's not gonna see a football field again, man.
Holy crap, it's
Now listen,
24.
obviously, I'm not gonna say with I think he's guilty or I don't think he's
Yeah,
guilty. I'm
yeah,
not
that's
gonna
not
say
what
any
we're
of
here
that
to
stuff
talk about. Yeah.
because I don't know. I would just say, but if your accusations are in the 20s, then let's just say more often than not, you're probably guilty.
Yeah.
And so, uh, yeah, man, it's a shame. It's a shame, but I mean, I what if I'm going off what I'm hearing and what I'm reading because I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't. No one knows the truth right now. All you can, all you can take is just what's being given to you. This guy looks guilty as hell. So um,
24, that's insane. Last
I
time
don't
I
think he's
heard
gonna.
it was
I don't.
Yeah, last time I
I
heard it
don't.
was half
He's
that.
not gonna. Yeah, he's not gonna see a football field ever again.
For yeah, at the least
And
for a long time.
at the least for a long time because this is a such a terrible it's a terrible situation obviously and I feel for all the women that were affected by this
Yeah,
but
for sure.
he's not going to see a football field again. It's a shame because he really was one of like the most he's was by far the most interesting story of this off season. Now he's the most disturbing story of this off season by far.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how it affects the NFL, I mean, the NFL, no matter, doesn't matter what person does what, it keeps moving. It moved, it got through Aaron Hernandez, it got
Ah,
through
God, that was
Antonio
insane.
Brown,
Do you ever
got
see the
through.
documentary on that?
I never saw it. I
Dude,
just,
it's yeah, for all you guys haven't seen it, it's pretty insane. You guys should definitely give it a watch.
so the NFL's going to move on from this, obviously. They deal with this stuff all the time, unfortunately, which is not a good thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's a bad look for the league, a bad look for Houston, bad look for the Houston Texans. I mean, I'm not like now just judging it off of like a team perspective. All this trade talk, and now you're not gonna be able. No team wants this. Like what team would want this guy with 22 sexual assault allegations? No, none of them. No, no one wants that.
Yeah.
And so now it makes you thought maybe they should have just pulled the trigger earlier instead of
Yeah. I
falling into
mean,
the problem. But
yeah,
nah, not
so
anymore.
yeah, just to say I mean, obviously the Houston Texans probably could not have anticipated that this was going to happen,
Yeah,
but so you can't blame them for no one could have been like, oh, he's going to have a lot of sexual allegations later. We should trade him now while he's still worth it. You can't anticipate that.
yeah,
But nonetheless, even if you can't anticipate that, it just shows that the Texans, like, oh, we mentioned in a previous podcast, we were saying trade Deshaun Watson now before his stock goes down, before
yeah,
his value goes down. And I mean, we thought that value was going to go down simply because he, was might have been staying with the team and sitting out for a year. You know, I no matter what, his stock has gone down significantly, And the Texans lost out. The Texans lost out big
Yeah.
time. They should have traded him
Yeah.
as soon as he demanded a trade.
Yeah, and now they're stuck with him. They're stuck
Yeah.
with a con there. Now
I
they're
mean,
this is all
even
this is
even if
unnecessary
he's found
controversy.
even if he's found innocent of all this stuff, his value still goes down.
It's down. It's plummeted.
Yeah.
He's worth now like a 4th round pick at
Yeah.
best. And there's gonna be a lot of hate for him, even if he does come out innocent, just because of just it's just the way the league is. It's the way players are. It's this is not
Yeah.
when you get accused for something like that, there's not a lot of forgiveness, because obviously it's such a touchy subject
Yeah, for sure.
that that we just don't know all the facts yet. We don't know all the facts yet. So all I can do is just give what I'm seeing. And this doesn't look good for him. It's not good for the Texans, who they're just proving why they're just not a very incompetent organization. They're finding themselves in unnecessary controversy, and it's it's bad for the league. It's bad for the Houston Texans. It's bad. This is a lose for everybody involved. This is just a terrible situation. The NFL now listen, the NFL as a as a as a
Organization.
company, as an organization, all
Yeah.
that, players and all that, they're gonna move forward. A new quarterback pops up every year. It doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah.
So they're gonna move on. It's like, is it a loss of talent? Is it a loss of a potential star? Sure, but a star pops up every year. So it's at the end of the day, it's not that big of a loss. He wasn't something. He was a household name in like for like the outside world. He wasn't a household name or anything.
Yeah, that's true. I
So
mean,
they're
Tom
not.
Brady's a household name, but
He's a
yeah.
household name. Mahomes, Rodgers, those are household names. Even Lamar Jackson's a household name, kind of. So I think it's a bad situation, but it's not like I feel bad for him, especially if he's found guilty. I mean, so we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think just to sum it up on my end, all I can say is guilty or innocent, his value goes down, and the
Yeah,
Texans missed out big time on getting quite a lot from Watson.
yeah,
Like some team would have traded 3 first-round draft picks for him
yeah,
and more, but now either going to, if he plays football again, to either has a mediocre draft pick or he doesn't play again, and that's it, and you lost out.
hmm
Yeah. Yeah, truly, yeah, just to say, yeah, truly is an unfortunate situation for everyone involved.
yeah.
So, yeah. But I think that does it for episode 9 of the podcast. Yeah, sorry for being gone for a bit, but you know what? We're back, and the draft is coming up next. We're super excited for that, and that's where we're going to cover next week. Awesome. Have anything more to say, Don?
I hope the Cowboys draft Kyle Pitts so that they can just destroy the Eagles for the next 5 years.
Wow. Well, yeah, all I can say that is fuck you, I guess. All right. Well,
That's all I gotta say, though.
all right. Well, in that case, that wraps up episode 9 of the Thunderbird podcast. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch you later.
Take care, guys.